Welcome back. We're here with Michael from
Hey, guys.
Home Slice Pizza. Michael, how are you doing?
Good, man. How about you today?
I'm doing good, man. It's awesome weather here in Toledo, so it's going well. And so you and your father took over the business from the rest of your family about 9
Yeah,
years ago.
somewhere around there.
Why did you guys decide to jump on that opportunity?
Well, when we originally started in I want to say it was like '06 or something. Obviously, downtown wasn't very developed.
Yeah.
We were one of the first bars down here. All of our neighbors across the street were boarded up buildings. After a few years after the Mud Hens came and the Walleye came and the city started to make more of an investment in downtown. Business was good. We owned the building too, so it just seemed right to just. I had two other brothers involved, and it was just a lot going on, and everyone kind of started going their separate ways. So we just figured it was easier to not have too many people in the too many hands in the cookie jar when they had other things going on. So we just kind of moved on from that, and then just bought everybody out so everyone could go and do their own thing, and then kept going.
Yeah. And COVID was really, really rough on a lot of businesses, especially local. What processes did you guys put in place to make it through COVID?
COVID was, obviously not being able to have dine-in was not a good thing. So, obviously, with the full bar, not having alcohol sales and liquor sales always is rough because those are pretty good margins. We were pretty lucky with that being pizza. Because when you think takeout food, like pizza and Chinese, and pretty much before DoorDash, that was kind of it. And COVID was the thing that kind of pushed DoorDash. I think that's kind of what blew up DoorDash. But luckily for us, I'd already been on DoorDash for a couple years before that. So we kind of had our systems in place. We use, no one probably knows how DoorDash works, but normally if you use DoorDash or Uber Eats, you have individual tablets, and then you get they ring in, and then you have to ring them into your POS.
Yeah.
But there's these other companies that are called. It's basically a third-party company where you send all the orders to them, and then they, talk with your POS, and the orders automatically upload into your computer, so you don't have to do anything. So that helped us out a lot because there was obviously during COVID, DoorDash, takeout, and call-in orders were huge. But we were kind of ahead of the curve on that with DoorDash because we already had a process going, and we were building our business through DoorDash pretty nicely at that point. But obviously with COVID, it blew up. So we were, I never closed for that, and I had some people that didn't want to work, and that was fine. But there was only, I think, out of all those, obviously all the bartenders had to, they weren't employed because they didn't have people coming in. But other than that, I think, from kitchen staff of 20, I kept 18 guys that pretty much worked through the whole thing. So obviously our hours were shortened because, again, without the bar business, I think we closed at 9 or 10. But we actually did, comparatively speaking versus other stuff, we did for COVID, we did pretty well. For COVID, we did pretty well.
Yeah. And what makes your guys' pizza different from others in Toledo?
We have our own dough. We make our dough fresh daily. We try to, we don't try, but we use, everything that comes in here is whole vegetables. We don't buy pre-chopped anything. Okay. So we do that. Obviously, all of our stuff is, in-house recipes for everything minus Italian dressing and stuff like that. Obviously, we get those pre-made. And then we do New York style, so it's a little thinner and crispier. And then we also have a lot of different pizzas that are kind of off the wall as far as, we have a DiCarlo, which doesn't have pizza sauce. It's got cream cheese and barbecue sauce. We have a spinach and artichoke, a jalapeno bacon bread. So that's, it's instead of, a little cream cheese, sour cream mix that's put over that. So definitely, I like our pizza, and we try to keep it fresh and, make it a little bit different. But the best, and we use, one of the things that I think separates our pizza from a lot of other people is that we use a 5-cheese blend for our pizza. In most places, you'll either get, at the most a 2 or 3 cheese blend, but I think that just makes it a little bit better, so when you bite into that piece of pizza and pull it away from your mouth, you can take a mile walk and still have cheese hanging from your mouth.
Yeah. And when you guys come up with those different types of pizzas, what's that process like?
my staff comes up with a lot of stuff, obviously, and then when I come up with stuff, most of the time it's just like if I travel or go anywhere, I don't go. If I'm gonna go out of state, I'm not gonna go to like Olive Garden or Applebee's. I try to find other local places in that area, and then the nice thing about pizza is if I find anything on any kind of menu, I can retool that into a pizza. So I'll go to a place and I'll have a sandwich that I like, and then kind of just like what are those ingredients, and then come back here and kind of most of the time I have all that stuff, and then kind of just try to make it into a pizza, and then it becomes a pizza because like the DiCarlo was basically, it has the same ingredients. It's got a way different flavor profile, but Doc Watson's in South Toledo has a sandwich that's called the DiCarlo. It's one of my favorite sandwiches, so I just started playing with cream cheese on a pizza, and then chicken, bacon, barbecue sauce. We do hot sauce, and we have a couple ingredients that they don't have, but it was so basically I just eat something like it and then be like, how do I make this into a pizza?
Interesting. I like that. Like that's different because when you're out looking at like different restaurants, like especially like not here, you're looking at how can I turn this into a pizza? Like what's interesting? What do I like? What do I think other people are going to like? And why did your family choose downtown Toledo to open the business versus another city?
Well, I mean, like my family's pretty like born and bred in Toledo. I lived in Maumee for like seventh grade through my high school. But other than that, we've been in and around the Toledo area. So when the city of Toledo put the Mud Hens in, they started to make a push towards Toledo. It was kind of something that my one older brother was the one that got in contact with a partner at that time, and he owned this building at that time, but he had owned it for like quite a few years, and everything in this building is brand new except for the exterior brick walls at the bar. And we were going to try to keep the exterior brick walls downstairs, but structurally we couldn't. So, I mean, if you see like that little kick out on that wall right there, those are cinder block wall. Those are cinder blocks that go up each side to like support the floors. So it was obviously a lot of work to do, but I mean, at that time too, like, that was before COVID, so construction wasn't crazy expensive. We already had the building, and we, kind of took a gamble, but we figured if the city was dropping like $9 or $12 million to build a stadium down here, they weren't just gonna like let it go real quick.
Yep.
So we figured it'd be a good place, to start, and if the redevelopment went well, it would work out for us. And being down here for I don't know however many years at it, 20 years almost now, and seeing the redevelopment, it's definitely a lot different than it was. And now we have Pro Medical Park, and it keeps going in the right direction. So I think we made the right decision.
Yes, and succeeding as a restaurant is very difficult. For someone that's looking to start their own restaurant, what would one piece of advice be to them?
So I worked in like corporate chains for a long period of time. When I first graduated high school, I worked here for a little bit. Like I said, there was like my other brothers were involved, and my mom and dad was involved. And then so I ended up working for like corporate chains. Just learn as much as you can about restaurants. A lot of people think that opening a bar or a restaurant is just you just open it up and people throw money at you. There's a lot more to it than that. So just make sure it's something that you want to do. And anytime you're going to be an entrepreneur, you just have to realize that, it's always fun and it's super rewarding, but the stress level is a little different because there is no one, like if you hit a problem and you don't know the solution, there's not, like, you don't have someone to call to, like, walk you through, or this is how, we handle it, so you're the one that kind of has to come up with that. So I would just definitely, if you're gonna do it, network, go around local businesses, ask them questions. The downtown community has been, honestly, I think compared to other restaurants, has been kind of special because all of us, obviously we're in competition with each other, but we all kind of also help each other out, right? So if we are having, issues, or I know there's been a couple other times when bars were opening up and, they opened up and they didn't have a big enough ice machine, and they'd come over and steal ice, not steal, but they'd come and borrow ice from me, and if it's a Sunday morning and I'm, low on feta cheese, I can go knock on the door to the Dirty Burger and be like, bro, can I get like 2 pounds of feta to last the day and stuff like that. Obviously I give them money for it. It's not like they're giving me free stuff, but I feel like that's pretty unique to probably I've never seen that before. I've worked in restaurants. Most of the time, if your neighbor that's a restaurant comes over and asks for something, you're like, oh no, because you're like, I want all your business. Maybe if you don't have feta cheese, people will come here.
Yeah. That's interesting. And I really like the family community type feel. Like that's awesome that like we have that downtown Toledo where people are actually willing to help each other succeed because it just if Toledo goes down as a city, everyone's going down with it.
Yeah.
So, and you also have 3 kids. With
Yeah.
you becoming a father, what was the thing that surprised you most?
I mean, I guess being a dad is just a surprise every day, I guess, with the stuff that you have
Yeah.
to do and the stuff that comes up. And I mean, I guess I don't know, at this point, nothing really surprises me. But I mean, it's definitely just like learning how to juggle a lot of things. And I guess the older you get and when you have kids, the more grateful you become for your parents, right? When you're growing up, you think they're the meanest people in the world,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I played all those sports and did all that. Maybe they were mean to me sometimes because they were just tired because they've been driving me and my brothers and sisters around all week, and then the one day they have off, I'm like, can I do this? And they're like, no.
Yeah. That I think it's very rewarding. Like I'm obviously like not a parent, but having the kids, watching them grow up, and then come back and say, hey, Dad, you were right about this.
Yeah.
Is pretty good. I have 2 more questions.
Yep.
When life gets difficult, what keeps you going?
Oh, I mean, I think I've always just kind of been like a self-motivated person. So like when I get challenged or things get difficult, I think it kind of motivates me more to try to figure out how to like overcome it. And obviously, having kids in a family that rely on my income kind of is built-in motivation, right? You don't really have the option to like not be home. You're like, I don't have the option to be. I don't want to say that because I don't have the option to be homeless. Not like that. I don't know. That's a little insensitive, but you get what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the mindset that I have. And then especially if you're an entrepreneur or in the restaurant business, like one thing that I try to think about a lot is like everything comes in waves, right? Like there's going to be times that there's going to be COVID times, and then there's going to be non-COVID times, right? So like right after all the bans got lifted and stuff, like I want to say like I don't know, those 2 or 3 months afterwards were pretty intense for like the restaurant industry as far as one, everyone just got paid a lot of money for like being at home. 2, everyone was at home, couldn't do anything, so all of a sudden you're like, hey, everyone's like released, and everyone's like, I have all this disposable income, and I haven't seen my friends in, what was the lockdown, like 4 or 6 months? I don't even remember, but so then like those 2 months after that were just like all day long, every day. So, try to survive, stick it out, and something, the uphill is going to stop eventually, and it'll be downhill, however you want to look at the flow. But
Yes. I have one more question.
yep.
If you could have dinner with 2 people, one person from the past and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
From the past, I think I have answers for these questions because I don't know. And talking about like the current president, someone that's alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, probably. I don't know. That's a question I don't even think about. I don't think about talking to other people, I guess. The past, I would probably want to like talk to, I don't know, like Gandhi or Nelson Mandela or someone like that kind of like led people in a positive way. Because being an entrepreneur and being a boss is a hard balance of, just wanting to scream and yell at people sometimes. That's not really like how you get the most production out of people or how you create a positive work environment. So someone like that kind of, always seemed to be positive, but, people respected him and liked them and followed them without him like stepping on their throats. That would be someone that I probably could learn some stuff from. And then someone that's alive today.
Yes.
Apparently I don't like anyone alive today. And I wouldn't really want to talk to like a professional athlete. I mean, I know that their work ethic and everything is like great, but like I don't think LeBron James is going to give me any life advice that's going to help me, right?
No.
I'm never going to be in the NBA. I don't know, probably someone in business that does well.
First person that comes to
We'll
mind.
say like Jeff Bezos, just because
Okay.
figure out. I guess I would like to get his story of the, like his. I'd like to hear about when his life sucked, just because like
Yeah.
everybody's life sucks at some point, right? And there's
Mm-hmm.
probably a time in his life where he was trying to figure out how he's gonna make his next dollar to pay rent or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that side of his life isn't glorified, and kind of figure out like you just asked me, like what did you do during that time to keep going?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all the question I have. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, man.